All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forward Thinking Founders, where we talk to founders about their companies, their visions for the future, and how the two collide. Today, I'm very excited to be talking to Bo Shaffer, who's the founder, CEO of Playswise. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I am, just here doing a bunch of calls, but we have this podcast, which I always look forward to whenever I have podcasts scheduled in my day, because I get to meet someone new, interesting, working on cool stuff.
Yes.
Let's kind of just dive right into what you are working on. What is Playswise?
Yeah, so Playswise is using computer vision to get in-depth basketball analytics from broadcast video. So NBA has a ton of cameras in their facilities to get some of these like insights, and right now working on a way to use computer vision, AI, machine learning, that type of stuff to get the same analytics just from broadcast video.
So let's say, once this is built, if it's, well, I guess first, is this already built? Are you building it? And two, once you're able to get this data, who would be interested in it? Is like me as a spectator, am I interested? Is a coach interested in evaluating talent to maybe get someone from another team? Like, who cares about this data?
Yeah, so I think starting off, like I played basketball at Duke, so this kind of is what triggered my curiosity in it. And I saw AI being used in other applications and thought, oh, I wonder if that's happening, or I knew it wasn't happening in the basketball world. But essentially, my thought was, can you use like something like ChatGPT and ask it for stats or questions and be able to get an output that's actually accurate and good? And current answer is I'd say no, especially to the depth we want it now. Um, I think right now, since I'm on the side of basketball, I'd say as like a player, my thought is like how can coaches use it or people on staff. So I think that'll be like the initial target. However, as a player, like there are definitely times where I think I would want to record myself practicing shooting or games and be able to get just data from it, like even just how many shots I made, uh, how many like dribbles I took, or what kind of tendencies I had and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am curious, were you in, I guess, what came first, your interest in basketball or your interest in tech? And if it was basketball, then tech, how did you kind of discover the tech world? And if it's the opposite, like how did you first get into tech?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I really stumbled upon this kind of accidentally. I think I always knew for a while, I knew I wanted to get into sports somehow. I didn't know when or how that would be. And then I think I've been always pretty interested in, AI, tech, and it's been booming, obviously, with ChatGPT and LLMs and VLMs even. And I kind of just saw a lot of it being developed in like a broad focus for users, like your everyday person for random things or and whatnot. And then it kind of started to dabble into other verticals like legal stuff or medicine, stuff like that. And then I just kind of thought of, this would be really cool on the basketball side. I think having a lot of friends or like scouts, coaches, analysts, that type of thing, hearing their daily workflow and me thinking, oh, like you guys still have to do all of this manually, like seems kind of crazy to me, considering all the advancements with technology right now. And so I think that's probably what kind of sparked it. So I don't know if there's probably, I guess my initial interest was basketball, but I didn't mean for it to be basketball when I found the tech side of it.
No, totally. That makes sense. And we were talking, earlier before we were recording about Twitter. That's how we met, right? We met on Twitter, and as I was saying, I probably interview 80 to 90% of the guests who come on the podcast I meet on the internet. How has like the internet been useful for you as you've been, building this out, getting into tech, using Twitter? Are there other sources or websites that you use? Like, how's the internet helped you?
Yeah, I think the tech world's very like open. They open source a lot, which is cool. So you can kind of go on there, test things, see if it could work for your application, or see how someone else is using uh, their LLM or VLM or whatever it is, or their models, and seeing how they're using it and seeing if you can kind of apply it to yours. So it's definitely been inspiring in that sense. And I honestly think if you aren't on Twitter or really like keeping up with podcasts or using something like Perplexity to get like updates, like I think you're definitely falling behind. I think that is a battle though. Like every, every time I go on Twitter, I feel like there's an update and some sort of new model or new this, new that, new capabilities. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think yeah.
yeah, no, sorry. It's just interesting because the standard advice is focus on your customers, turn all that stuff off, and just talk to your users, build product, right? But in this age of AI, and look, there's been AI for decades, right? But we're just in a moment. We're in a moment where it's progressing at a very rapid rate. I think you do have to be online. Like I think you do have to be on Twitter and know what's dropping, just so you're in the know. And maybe if you're using a model today or using a technology today, in a year it could be completely
Yeah.
irrelevant, right? And you need to know that and be on the ball. But as you said, it's a balance. You don't want to switch models every 5 seconds, or you don't want to switch technologies every day or every week, because that's just going to be a pain in the butt. But it is the battle. How do you think about that? Like you're building in this space. How
Yeah.
do you get distracted, or do you let yourself get distracted by these new models? Like how do you handle that?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think I tend to, if I get distracted, it's like, okay, I look at the post, I might go to the link or whatever and check it out for a second, but I don't immediately switch. I'd have to have a lot of conviction that this model's better, this is why we're going to use it. But right now, like, I'm working on kind of fine tuning our current models and like more customizing them to our needs. A lot of the stuff on Twitter, from what I found, is if they're open sourcing, it's to like a broader demographic, I'd say. But the biggest thing is, if I do see something new, I have a couple advisors I talk to that are experts in like computer vision or machine learning that I trust, and I know they've done a lot of good work. So I'll kind of consult with them and get some advice if I do, or I'll send it to them and say, oh, did you see this? Check it out, and they'll kind of give me some feedback.
Yeah, that makes sense. It does leave me to wonder, like, how are you spending your time right now? It sounds like you're fine tuning your models. Do you just you taking a lot of shots? Are you dribbling? Are you like giving it data to train? And if it's not that specifically, like, how are you training without giving away your special sauce?
I think yeah. Right now, a lot of my time is coding slash getting these models better and more accurate. It's funny, like on one hand, I think it's like the chicken versus the egg battle, where okay, I need to make these models better and more accurate for teams, coaches to use and trust, but the computational power it takes to get these models accurate. For example, like let's say I have a model that's 90% accurate at what it wants to do. To get it from 90 to or I should say, let me say 95% to 96% versus getting it 80 to 90% is exponentially harder because I just like the amount you have to train it to get better. Um, so yeah, right now that's why I'm kind of raising money pre-seed. Um, but yeah, sorry, I don't remember the initial
No,
question.
that's fine. It's fine. It's like when you're training or as you're building the tech. And I have no idea. I'm not technical. I'm like I'm a VC guy. I'm like a podcast guy. I'm not like a tech guy, right?
Yeah.
So do you feed your model like videos of like I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. If you could you feed it a Phoenix Suns game and it gets better? Do you actually feed it like live images or a video of you working? Is actually none of that, and you're just going off of like it already knows how the motions work because it's AI. It's like
Yeah,
how do you know how to train it? I don't know.
I think I guess know how to train it based on, let's say there's a model, let's say there's a model of like object detection. So just being able to detect like player, hoop, ref, ball, for example. And you'll yeah, put in a video through an API, get the results back to see what it labels. You'll go through and see, okay, it's misreading like people courtside as players, or it's misreading refs as players. So that's where you would go in, basically redo the tags, and then train it again. So yeah, a lot of my time is spent doing that. I think a lot of it's going to a bunch of basketball events and games and things like that, and connecting with coaches, users, things like that. Um, that's pretty much it right now. But
Yeah, that makes sense. I bet when coaches or folks in the industry or in like I guess the sport hear
mhm.
about what you're doing, they must be jazzed. Like there's probably not that much out there that's quite like this, right? Is that right?
Yeah, there's a couple things that are out there that are going or do something similar to what I want it to do, like the base product of being able to get possessions clipped up, right, from a full game. But that's done manually for the most part right now. I know of a couple other companies trying to do some computer vision stuff. I don't think like they have all the features that I'm thinking of, to my knowledge, anyways. And yeah, like everybody I've talked to in the basketball world and even in general have been super supportive. Like, think it's a great idea. Like, it would be sick. They tell me I'm the person to do it. So now I'm just trying
Well,
to
it's all
have that
about
come to
team.
fruition.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's great. Do you spend any time thinking about other parts of tech, or like is there any developments in the startup world or tech world that are interesting to you that may not be directly related to what you're currently building?
Yeah, I think something interesting. It's kind of tied into what I'm building, but just like the whole AI agent thing, like how much you can really automate. And I honestly think AI. I don't know if it'll replace entire jobs. It probably is already starting to a little bit, but like you're hire more skilled jobs. I think if you don't know how to use AI, like you're definitely gonna fall behind. And so if you know how to, prompt LLMs, build agents, things like that, that can make you more efficient, I think that's where AI is the most helpful. Like my thing, even I don't want this to replace video coordinators or coaches or analysts. I think it'll make their job much more efficient because they'll be able to go through more film, look at more data, things like that, and just have more informed decision making.
The thing with agents, though, is I think that no one really has a defined definition of what an agent is, and everyone just slaps agent on their product, and they're like, "Hey, we have agents," and then us as a excited industry is like, "Oh, XYZ has an agent," and we get excited. But have you seen a an agent that you think is the future? Like, I guess let me ask a different question. Have you seen technologies that you think will be around in 15 years that like power agents, or an agent that you think in its current form will exist in 15 years? Or are we just really early in that development of like a technology, in your
Yeah,
opinion?
yeah. I think a lot of it is really early. I think a lot of people are kind of throwing, and then we're gonna see as time progresses what sticks. I think as far as AI agents, I think things that are good are being able to use it as almost like an external brain. So if you can connect it to your email, uh, Otter bots or whatever, note taking apps, things like that, and it's able to recall information for you that you might have forgotten. I think that's where it could be really cool or helpful. And I kind of have some stuff set up for that. Um, but as far as like an agent doing something completely for me, I, you can do it. I don't know if I trust it yet, but you can obviously do it.
Yeah, I haven't leaned out on it, but I'm kind of waiting for just the industry, or at least some folks, to be like, "Oh, this is the thing to try," because I feel like I've been not burned, but kind of disappointed in being an early adopter to a lot of this tech, specifically in the agent world. It's just never quite, at least from my experience, never quite as marketed. So I'm like, I'm expecting to do blank, and then we can get you maybe 80% of the way there, but you can't get the full 100, and it's kind of a letdown because the whole
Yeah,
idea of like an agent is it can work autonomously. You tell it what to do, and it
yeah,
does it. Then it tells you once it's done it, right? Or you just know. So I think it's probably out there, just like the phrase, "What the future is here, but it's not evenly distributed," like something like
yeah,
that, right? It's probably
yeah, yeah,
similar. Um,
yeah.
so
Have you
I
seen?
have a couple questions around your time in college. Like, did you like you play basketball? You play basketball. Were you are you are well? I'm gonna ask. Are you still in college, or have you graduated?
No, I've graduated. I've been out for like 2 years now.
Cool. So when you were in college, were a lot of your peers? You said you went to Duke. Was there a lot of tech like in college? Were you influenced by the scene at your college, or not necessarily?
I think when I was in college, like part of my college years was COVID. So that's when we were all on Zoom. So that's, I guess, tech, right? As far as AI, like no one was really worried when I was there, worried about people using ChatGPT for essays or anything like that because it wasn't that good. Like I don't think it was until this past year maybe where it became really good and you can give it context, you can give it like templates for it to kind of follow an instruction, but I wasn't using any of like ChatGPT or Anthropic or Gemini or any of that when I was in college. But I think we definitely knew it was kind of on the come up, um, and it was like more innovative than like real life. Like I think we still thought it was, as far as I know and what I use, speaking personally. I think we thought it was more innovative. Like this will be in the near future, but it wasn't implement now.
Totally. I honestly can't imagine having access to this tech while I was in school. Like, I graduated Arizona State 2016 before all of this.
Yeah,
I guess like a year after OpenAI was founded, I guess,
that's crazy.
it's just kind of crazy to think that yes, students just today, any age, not just college age, but high school, middle school, they have access to this tech, and then some schools are gonna lean in, and they're gonna help the students use it to the best of their ability, kind of like a calculator, and some are gonna say no AI for anything, and it'll be interesting to see how things just things go in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do things look like for you? Over the next couple of years, like what's the focus on for Playswise? Like you said, you're raising a pre-seed. What's like some of your goals that you'd like to have accomplished within a couple of years?
I think a couple years. I mean, I'm kind of delusional, but like if I could say every like Power Four school was using it, I think that would be the goal in 2 to 3, 4 years. Like I want it to be kind of league wide. I want it to be where accessible for teams and players. I want as many people and users as possible. I think that's with any given software, right? But I think something to be able to say, oh, every Power Four score, every college uses this software, I think would be incredibly cool. And I think just being able to, like right now, the industry or like the products that I guess, competing with have completely monopolized the industry, and kind of everybody in basketball has told me that like Hudl and Synergy are their main video platforms to get game footage kind of reviewed and stuff, and I kind of want to disrupt that because I think they're lacking with some things, and I don't think they've been as present for their users.
And I kind of wonder if they have a disadvantage in that they were built well before this AI boom, so they're not AI native. Versus you're building
Yeah.
this now, you're able to build kind of an AI native company from the ground up. It probably gives you an advantage.
Yeah, I would think so. I think I can be more efficient at things than somebody else could. Manually doing a lot, and they're still doing stuff manually. Built 20, 30, 40 years ago. Like you can even tell by the UI of Hudl and Synergy. Like it looks like it's from the 1990s or whatever.
That's crazy. So that because I'm familiar with Hudl. There was a period I had a company a few years ago called Seed Scout. We were helping connect at that time founders, investors, and job seekers together. But then we
Yeah.
started to expand for a period of time to athletes. So we had an ambition to connect athletes to coaches to schools to brands, and we did it for I don't know 6 months or something. But I found Hudl around this time, and it's like it's fine. It's not it like does the job, but it's definitely not a magical experience by any means.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. And then uh, I don't know what I guess package you had, but seeing some of the stuff on what they give to teams on like how they label plays or actions, like half the like there was one time I was on it and it labeled the complete wrong player, like not even close. So it's just like things like that. Like when we're talking like winning games and the threshold to what's going to push you over to win a game, like we just can't have like silly, I guess, mistakes like that. And that's why we obviously have coaches, analysts, a lot of people on staff to do it manually. But when you're paying a large subscription, I think it should be more accurate or better product, better user interface, stuff like that.
Oh, 100%. No, it makes sense. Well, if someone wanted to kind of learn more about what you're doing online, connect with you maybe on Twitter or X, I still call it Twitter. I probably always
Yeah, me
will.
too.
Uh, where can someone learn more about Playswise, your online presence? Where can someone connect?
Yeah, I mean Twitter's good. I check my Twitter and Instagram DMs pretty regularly. LinkedIn, all the basic social media platforms, and then can email me at bo@playswise.com or check out the website and connect with me there.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. It's a really
Yeah,
interesting space that you're building in, and I'll be following along. Thanks for coming on.
thanks, Matt.